Hey my queens, hey my kings, hey my brothers and sisters. I greet you all in love and light of the Most High God, the infinite creator, source of all things, source within. I thank you for checking your sister out. This will be a quick video. This is something that I wanted to share with many of you. I had saw this post, and sometimes when I read certain posts, they actually inspires me because it just the hidden meaning, in the message lets me realize how far I've come. And the message in the post, it said that those who are awakened do not spend their time judging those who are asleep. Those who are awakened do not spend their time judging those who are asleep. Now you can look at it two ways, okay? Because that's what I did. I looked at it one way as imagine you going to work. You work like a 6 to 2:30. Cause I used to work that shift at the hospital. So I would get up like about 5. And while I'm heading to work, I'm up, I'm awake. But I'm thinking about, wow, it must be nice, to still be in bed and be asleep. A lot of people still asleep. It must be nice, I'm awake, but there are many still asleep. So I looked at it from that perspective. And then there's another perspective, spiritually being awake, all right? Consciously being awake. And, I'm not saying you, but I think about those who are not consciously as well as spiritually awake. Most importantly, I'm going to say spiritually awake, okay? I know for me now, I don't waste my time judging those who are not, all right, spiritually awake. And before I've gotten to this place, like I stated in my last video, I was very judgmental. I grew up in church, and even though there were a lot of good messages that the pastor was preaching, as far as about, God, Christ, and the teachings and all of that. I know all about that. I grew up in church, so I get that, and there were a lot of good messages, but also it can make you very judgmental. You just naturally, can be judgmental towards others. And knowing what I know now, even though, these are people, including myself, when I was going to church, I still wasn't spiritually awake. I was seeking. That's what I was doing. Like many of you, you're seeking, you going to church, you want the word, you want that good word, make you feel good, lift your spirit, so hopefully your week will be good. And for the most part, when I did go to church, that whole week was a good week, it's sort of like it motivates you to have a good week. You kind of like get your psyching your mind up. This is going to be a good week. I done heard the word. I was fed the word, and for the most part, I wouldn't even pick the Bible up during the rest of the week. That's the only time I would pick it up was on Sunday. I'm just being honest with you, but I'm just keeping it real. But that's how it was for me back then. But I was still spiritually dead, back then, even though I was having a lot of paranormal experiences and all, I still wasn't as awakened as I am now. And knowing what I know now, I look at a lot of my brothers and sisters because, I can tell the ones that are spiritually awake and those who are not. It's not pretty much what a person say, but it's what they do. People actions, and I also go by what I sense spirit, what I sense. I go by my senses. Let me just say that I go by my senses because I'm an empath, so I pick up on energy and pick up on people's vibes, shall I say? So this lets me know where you are as well. But anyway, I don't judge no one. If I'm near someone and the engine's kind of dark or whatever, I just pretty much, cause I don't want to be around that kind of energy because it kind of turns me off. It's just the way it is. But I don't judge them. That's where they are. That's where they choose to be. That's just where their mindset is. And but I don't judge them because that was once me. I haven't always been to where I am now. And I'm still a work in progress. But anyway, when you get to this place of awaken spiritually in your consciousness, everything expands. You kind of like start seeing the big picture, and you get to this place of like after having a spiritual awakening, you get to that place of, just having love, in your heart because you're in your heart chakra. And all of this is a process with spiritual awakening. All of this is a process, but you go through this whole transformation, and it's something that's ongoing and it's still ongoing with me, but you go through this transformation process of rebirth, and through it, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about things that you thought you knew that you really didn't know. You learn about things that you thought you knew that you were programmed to know as far as in school. You found out it wasn't that accurate. You was learning history, but you wasn't learning your history. You were learning their history or whoever they are, but it wasn't your history. And a lot of it wasn't even facts. It was just a bunch of man-made, BS, tell you the truth. But when you go through yourself, you start learning things about you that wasn't taught in those books, shall I say. Even in the word, me having the spiritual awakening and seeing my third eye, there are things that I've seen within myself is not even in the word, but I'm sure a lot of it was in there, but it was taken out, okay? Because there are a lot of books and scriptures that has been taken out for a reason, okay? And let me just say this, I truly believe that, yes, the Pope and a lot of these Masons, whatever, they taking a lot of things out. Some of these secret societies, they take things out for themselves, but I leave that alone. It's okay for them to know the truth and to have this hidden knowledge, but they don't want people to know, because when you start to know, you become a force to be reckoned with. You can't be easily, let me just say, you can't be a puppet. They can't do you like this. You can read right through them. You can read through people. And so you can't really be influenced to go by everything they say, because you can go within yourself and get the answers. But, it's amazing with the spiritual awakening how, like I said, things that, I was taught, like for instance, I know that it's very taboo talking about reincarnation, but it's very real. I cannot tell you after this life exactly where I'm going to go, or after this life where you're going to go. But what I can say that we all have existed before we came here. And the word tells you that, when it mentioned about how it says, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. Well, that's a very detailed, very that statement alone lets you know that you have existed before, all right? And coming to the spiritual awakening, when you start to see through the veil, and not just that, you start to see angels and light beings and dimensional beings and ETs and, even your ancestors, and, you see all of these things, and you think to yourself, hold up now, what is this? What is this? Somebody please tell me, what's wrong with me? Why am I able to see this? Nobody's talking about it, and when people do talk about it, people want to criticize them and say they're witches, they're psychics, put psychics also, on that list of being witches. I truly believe these are just people who just have gifts. You know, a lot of people don't even talk about their gifts because they don't want to be, criticized, or burnt at the stake or have a stone thrown at them. And you get what I'm going with this because this has been going on since, eons. People who, have been gifted. And people didn't understand them, so they decided to take them out because they wasn't the norm. What they considered is the norm. Because these are people who were asleep. They were asleep, spiritual asleep. But a lot of those who were awakened, they stood out, and people didn't like that. And look at Christ. They were trying to get to him as well. But you get what I'm going with this. He stood out. He was different. But anyway, so like I said, you get to that place to where books that you've read and just things you've been taught, period. You start to question it. And then you think, well, is questioning, the Bible, is it bad? Because, I'm having experience, I always look at the Bible as the ultimate book. If I'm going through something, it should be in there. And a lot of the things I have been experiencing is in there, all right? We talked about the third eye. It don't say third eye, but it talks about let thy eye be single, all right? And there are some other hidden scripture passage that's in the Bible that does talk about the third eye, but you have to look over it. It ain't gonna say third eye now, but it'll go in detail about, I forgot who the character was in the Bible that they said they seen a place that's called Penal. I forgot who this character was, but anyway, there are scriptures that talks about it, but it's just not gonna say, the third eye, or the spiritual eye, but you would know when you are reading the scriptures and you can relate to the scriptures because you've seen these things. So you can relate, you know what I'm saying? Even though, like I say, a lot of things that has been taken out or added to it, but the things that are still in there that are irrelevant, that are still a truth, shall I say, you would know it because you would sense it in your spirit. Oh yeah, this scripture right here is telling the truth because I've seen it. And, and I know they say, we walk by faith, not by sight, and that's true with these eyes right here, these carnal eyes, yeah, definitely, don't go by these eyes, because this world is an illusion, but on the inside, this is not an illusion. This is not an illusion. I'm sorry, family.
Thank you.
Thank you, baby. But anyway, in this world, of course, they will have you thinking that you're crazy and you are seeing illusion. You schizophrenic because you're seeing the unseen things that they cannot see because they are closed off from it. But you're able to see it. So of course, it sets you apart from the norm, shall I say? But you're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. You have just been blessed. You have just been blessed that your spiritual eyes have awakened. I say rejoice and embrace it, But getting back to me, it really challenged me. It made me question things. Excuse me, family, my allergies flaring up a little bit. It made me question things like, for instance, going back to being the reincarnation part. There's this exercise. Anybody can do it. I heard this man speak about it, I'll probably say 4 years ago when I started to have my spiritual awakening. He go by the 13th son. I don't watch him anymore, but I was led to watch him by the Spirit because I was seeking. During that time, I was seeking. And what he was talking about, I needed to hear it at that time, all right? He was telling his viewers to go in a room, and cut the light off and stare at a mirror. Stare at a mirror. And thank you. I apologize. He was telling his viewers to go in the mirror. I say the bathroom. He said go in the bathroom, and he said just stare at the mirror, but turn the light. He said turn the lights off. You can turn the lights off from my experiences, or you can just dim the lights. You could dim the lights as well, all right? Because the lights don't have to be turned. You don't have to be pit dark, okay? The lights can be dim. Come on, mommy, doing a quick video real quick. Go ahead. I'm gonna end this video because I see right now she's getting started. But when you do this, okay, This is one way that, and your third eye does not have to be awakened for this. Let me just say that, okay? But this is one way you can get an idea of who you, who you are, all right, of who you are. Because I know I've definitely seen who I am. Stare at the mirror, turn the lights off, or it could be dim. Stare and keep staring. You might end up seeing some light shooting out of your body, all right? And all of this is taboo, but I'm just telling you, this is what you could see. Now, a lot of people see different colors. I don't know what colors you want to see, all right? I've seen colors like red and I've seen white, like a white orb, shooting out of my ear, going back in my eyes, coming out of my nose and flying all around me. You're going to see all kinds of things, all right? Everybody's experience is different. We have some markers. Just wait a minute. And another thing I started to notice as well, I started seeing a being. The more I started staring at myself, I noticed my face started to shift shape. Okay, like right in here got real dark, and it's kind of like I saw my face looking like as though it would turn into another face. But I kept my composure because when it comes to things like this, you got to remove fear. All right, always remove fear because the word tells us, to operate in power, love, and sound mind. All right, that's pretty much being sane. All right. So when I started noticing myself shift shaping, especially like my eyes started looking all funny, I kept my composure and I kept staring right here. Cause we staring in the mirror, you stare right here. And I just kept staring. No matter what I saw, I kept staring. And right here in the center, right here, I saw a big old head. I saw some tiny little round eyes. I saw a nose like a U shape. A nose that like a U shape. Now, what I was looking at, it didn't look human. It did not look human, and it had a short, tiny neck. Kind of remind you of the Greys a little bit, if any of you have seen pictures of Greys, but this was not a Grey, all right? But it was an ET. It was an advanced ET, all right? It was staring right back at me. It was not moving. I wasn't hearing any noise or anything, but I'm just trying to tell you, our eyes are the windows to our soul, and when you are looking directly at a mirror, staring long enough, you go into a trance, and you start to see things. People might call it an illusion or whatever. It's no different with going through yourself, but I'm letting you know every time I stare at the mirror, this is what I'm seeing, the same being. I'm not seeing different beings. I always see this one, all right, this one particular being. And in another video, I'll go into more details about this. I'm not going to talk too much about this on this video, but I will make another video talking about it more. But I just want to let you know that I'm a part of that being, all right? Me and that being share the same consciousness. I'm a part of that being.
I'm gonna draw a picture.
Go ahead.
I'm a marker.
Just wait a minute, okay? Anyway, me and this being share the same consciousness, all right? And that being exists right now in the now, all right? So I know a lot of y'all heads might get the swelling, like, what's she talking about? Like I said, I talk about it more on another day. All right, I don't. It's good. It's good. I'm trying to speak in a way of spiritual milk and build it up, to the best of my ability. Because too much of this will go over many of your heads. All right, because that's how it was for me when I was seeking and I was receiving a lot of information. A lot of things went over my head, and I'm like, how are you talking about? But by and by, when I started having my experiences, I started to relate. It made sense. But anyway. And as far as my higher self, me and this being are connected to my higher self. So like I said, we're sharing the same consciousness as in everything, but I am living this experience as, well, Corinthia. That's my name, Corinthia, but I go by Corinthians child, but my name is Corinthia, like Corinthians in the Bible, but my name is Corinthia, like with a Q. But I'm having an experience as a human being, living this experience out, and growing and learning, for whatever reason, I'm here for a reason, for a purpose, for such a time as this. Basically, the way I see it, having an experience, okay? And definitely get to a place, the way I see it, getting, all I know is when I came here, I didn't know, I didn't remember anything, and but it's like I'm trying to get back to who I was, get back to the Christ-like state, to who I was as far as that advanced, spiritual enlightened being, shall I say? Um, like I say, it's a process. Everything's a process. I never really know it all, but I'm grateful for what I do know. But what I'm trying to say is that's one exercise that you can do, but you got to remove fear because you're going to see something that's going to blow your mind and it will mess with your I hate to say a belief system, shall I say, because like I said, you don't really hear too much about this, about reincarnation, and you don't hear about stuff like this. It's taboo. People don't want to talk about it, but it would give you an idea of who you are or who you were, shall I say. I see it like that, or who you were, but you still, no matter what reincarnations that you've had, all of that is still a part of you. It's still a part of you, okay? It's still a part of you. It never leaves you because, like I said, our eyes are the windows to our soul. And when you're going within yourself, you're still connecting with all of that. Cause you have to realize you go back and there's a lot of information that then that could really help you in the now, okay? But a lot of times we gotta kind of retrieve a lot of this information. That's why it's good to receive a lot of downloads when you go to sleep. Receive downloads when you're in meditation, and yeah, and like I said, sun gates help a lot too because you're receiving downloads from the universe as well, and all of this help you, as far as to awaken that DNA, to awaken you out of that sleep state. So I'm going to end this video because, like I said, my little queen is starting to turn it out, and mommy going to turn it out, okay? But I just want to share that with you. So yeah, that's definitely a true statement. It's definitely a true statement. Those who are awakened, they don't waste their time, trying to judge those who are asleep. That's the truth, because we all have been asleep. So it's pretty much like having compassion, and you pretty much just focusing on yourself, walking in love, and just trying to help, raise consciousness, raise the vibration, and yeah, that's your sister. So anyway, I think y'all were checking your sister out. And like I said, if you're at that place to where you, are mastering yourself and you are removing fear, try this exercise and hit me back, hit me up down there in the comment section. Let me know what is it that you saw, other than the lights flashing from your body. A lot of people see the lights right here in the center, in their core, shooting out from their bodies, all kind of beautiful colors, Everybody's experiences is different. So just let me know down there what all that you saw, if you don't mind sharing. A lot of you are very private, but like I said, when you're trying to come out of that box and you're trying to walk in purpose, you got to come out of that, okay? Because you can't really help nobody till you start helping yourself. Come out of that shell and start sharing your light, pass the torch, all right? Because you do have a voice, all right? You have a voice. Much love and blessings to you, my kings, my queens, and bye for now.